This podcast is brought to you by the MAHWAH High School Sports Talk Club. Welcome back, Thunderbirds, to the MAHWAH High School Sports Talk podcast. You're back once again with junior Nicholas Bostico,
freshman Daniel Almash,
sophomore Chase Moskowitz,
and Mr. J.
We got a great show for you today, as we're going to kick this one off with some local town news. MAHWAH Spring Sports is coming to town, baby. That's right. A whole new season of spring sports coming your way. Chase, let them know, what sports do we got going on this season?
All right, so we got baseball, lacrosse, boys tennis, softball, golf, boys and girls track. I'm most excited for the baseball, personally. We opened last season with a 6-game win streak, and we made it to the semifinals in the States. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, same here, Chase. I mean, the baseball, we got a lot of new talent in MAHWAH, so I feel like varsity going to do good this year. Freshmen, we got lots of young talent. I feel like we could do good this year. Hopefully we open a nice win streak.
Heard we're going to hear some good things from the lacrosse team, too. Yeah. It sounds like track is going to run it up this year.
Yeah, they got some nice photos.
What about you, Mr. J?
I talked to Mr. Cullity, Coach Cullity, the other day, and he's really pumped up for the lacrosse season. I think they got some size, is what he said. Defense looks pretty good, and as far as the baseball team goes, as long as they stay healthy, Kyle Hard had that surgery last year, and his arm is from what I heard, tip top. Struck out a bunch of dudes in their scrimmage, and their first game's Monday, and they're all really excited about it.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're excited to see what happens this year. Roll Birds.
All right, guys. We got free agency in the NFL. It's been heating up for a little bit. Dan, what's your opinion?
My opinion is that the Giants, I've been seeing in ESPN, New York Post, that their free agency grades for the first-year GM Joe Schoen have been A+s across the board. With the little cap room we had, he absolutely went on a spree. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think we got a lot of other cool guys that we'll see this year. We got Darren Waller, who I think is going to make a big impact, and there's also been a lot of other interesting
the little signings that they're going to make the impact.
Like Paris Campbell.
Exactly.
He's going to
wide receiver from the Colts. I've heard he's been very good. Wearing number 0, first time.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so
I feel like one of the more notable free agent signings so far as of right now is like Jalen Ramsey to the Dolphins. What do you guys thought?
That was a trade, I believe. The Dolphins, or not the Dolphins, the Rams got robbed. I'm sorry. Yeah. Even though Ramsey has like a $14.5 million cap hit, he's still an amazing player.
He's a great player, yeah.
And for the little things that they got, like a tight end, he's going to be on
probably
the
a
bench.
cap space thing, to be honest.
Yeah, I know, but still, like...
Because that team has no picks.
Rams are being really bad this year.
Yeah, they really went all out on Von Miller and lost him after a season.
Yeah, that's a shame. I would like to mention 2 teams that I think are very notable right now in free agency. One of them is being Carolina. They've low-key been they've been kind of like balling out a little bit.
Great job. They stole from the Eagles, and that's all I wanted. Miles Sanders out.
Miles Sanders, Adam Thielen, Hayden Hurst, Von Bell, and they have their first overall pick.
Amazing.
And
which will be a quarterback, probably C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud. I heard they had a lot of conversations.
I'm thinking Bryce Young.
Or Bryce Young, yeah. Exactly.
I'm saying Bryce Young because the talent is there. Even though his size, I don't care about size. The guy is an elite talent, going to be the generational talent. And also, people are thinking Anthony Richardson might go top 3. That guy is a heck of an athlete. What is he, like 6'4", 225?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. One thing I've been noticing is like Jalen Carter. I mean, obviously the Panthers aren't going to trade for him, but I think he could be a good impact in this trade. What are your thoughts, Mr. J?
I don't know. I'm waiting to hear about the Aaron Rodgers thing. I know. I mean, I love the Giants, and I'm so happy that the Eagles are just getting picked apart by all these teams.
They're not going to be the same.
They're not going to be the same team, but it's just on the other side of the locker room with the Jets. I'm just really interested to see if Aaron Rodgers if this is really going to happen, because I don't know. It's just going to be really interesting for New York sports if he comes.
His intention was to play for the Jets. I mean, Alan Lazard, he even said that's the big reason why. And I think if Aaron Rodgers signs, then OBJ is going to follow. OBJ hasn't signed a contract in 4 weeks now since the NFL free agency open market has started.
He's stalling.
He is definitely
He's
stalling.
waiting. He wants
He's
to be
waiting for the very last minute on who he thinks is going to be the best
Exactly. Team. What's the best team that he can get himself on?
Exactly.
Following Mr. Jay's thoughts on the Eagles falling apart, they're not going to be as good as last season. It's really hard to beat a 14-3 record, and I don't know. Like, Miles Sanders was a big piece, and
he played. He was definitely top 5 running back this year, probably.
Yeah, I mean,
the only running back that they re-signed was Boston Scott, aka the Giants killer. But still, I mean,
but he's not really that.
I mean, I think that, but the Eagles the only reason why I'm still like afraid and not all die down, they have 2 first-round picks. And I am like shivering every day just coming up to the draft, shivering. And because I just think if they get like a good safety, because C.J. Gardner-Johnson went,
Yep.
and if they get a good running back in Bijan Robinson, who's a first-round talent. And then also speaking about the draft, the Giants can go multiple ways. I heard that there is a center from Wisconsin, huge guy, going to create space since Feliciano went. There's many different ways that the Giants can go, honestly.
I'd like to ask you guys one question about a specific team. Do you think we'll see a downfall in the Buccaneers this year?
No.
Baker Mayfield going
Mayfield's
there.
on
I feel like Baker
Cards.
Mayfield has been like stripped of confidence lately.
I
don't know, but that's just my
I
thoughts
think
on
they'll
that.
go 10-7. I think.
I don't know. I mean, obviously they haven't really gotten rid of a lot of players, but just having Baker Mayfield there, ever since,
Yeah,
like,
but I feel like it gives Baker Mayfield motivation.
he's been on 3 teams in
because-
under a year.
Yeah, but like maybe it's good that he's been on 3 teams in under a year, because now he's on a new team. He'll be the starting quarterback, and it's his team. It's his
offense.
It's his offense. Like he'll throw to them.
And that
He's
division.
not the backup.
Yeah, true. The
division.
division, the division's not really
Division's soft.
special.
I
Except
under-
from Derek Carr, obviously.
Mr. I see your opinion on that, but the division's not going to be soft this year. The Panthers are going to be a real threat.
Panthers are good.
Yeah.
Panthers going to be a real threat.
Falcons won't be really
And also,
that good.
if Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud or Anthony Richardson is in that division, I think it's going to
Yeah,
be
you're
one
right.
heck of a
Mm.
QB
Maybe a
battle.
good
Like
division.
that division has the potential of having a QB battle between Baker Mayfield, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, or Bryce Young and Derek Carr.
And Derek Carr.
Also, another thing I'd like to mention, speaking of South divisions, Houston. I feel like people haven't really been acknowledging them as of lately. Houston has signed Robert Woods, wide receiver from the Rams, Dalton Schultz, tight end from the Cowboys, who
Devin Singletary.
balled out, and Devin Singletary, their running back from the Bills. And on top of that, they have a second overall
Yeah, they
pick.
have a second overall.
Yeah,
So they'll
they're
get Bryce Young.
They're
They'll get Bryce
guaranteed C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, or Bryce Young for a quarterback.
Like
So,
they're not gonna be a great team. I think they could go like 6 and
9.
Yes, 7 and 9 maybe. But we'll see how it goes.
Let's do some hockey, fellas.
All right, here we go. Yes, absolutely. All right, so we have some. Last time we were here, big news from both the Rangers and the Devils. Rangers acquired Patrick Kane. The Devils acquired Timo Meier. Now we're back. The Rangers have clinched the playoffs, and so have the Devils. Rangers' second straight playoff appearance, and the Devils' first playoff appearance in over 5 years, and their second playoff appearance in 11 years. So let's talk about this.
All right, so number 1, we just re-signed Filipino. That is a great signing. I'm
Oh, yeah.
very happy about it.
We have our
He's-
3 centers locked in for
Yeah.
the next at least 4 years.
He's
now.
so
I
young
like that.
and he's so talented. He can score goals just here and there, whenever you want him to. And
He runs that kid line.
yeah, he
Like,
runs
it's
that
insane.
line, and I like it a lot. But yeah, what about you, Dan?
I mean, I'm not really into hockey, but I could tell you right now. I've watched the scenarios. I've watched, a lot of the highlights, and I can tell you, both of these teams, both high caliber teams to make a playoff run. I mean, I'm telling you, like how the Rangers play defense on the ice. It's just to a level where they're just suffocating the other team's offense.
I really like Ben Harper. I know he's not talked about very often, but he's like 6'6", and just when he's on the ice, or he's like, what is he like? He's like 6'6", 230 or something like that. When he's on the ice,
scary.
he's scary. He doesn't get a lot of playing time, but I really like it when he's on the ice. All right, what are your thoughts on all this, Mr. J?
Well, I think tonight, because the Devils and the Rangers play tonight at the Rock, I think tonight will be a playoff game. I think this is going to be a playoff atmosphere.
It's a preview.
It's definitely going to be a preview. And what Dan was saying, what you guys were saying too about the Rangers defense, the Devils' biggest asset is their offense. They skate around like nuts. They're really, really fast. They don't hit anybody. My only concern is that recently the Rangers have seemed to hit their stride. Meanwhile, the Devils are kind of like on this little slumping, little downturn. It's not the time to do that. So I'm just hoping tonight with the fans and the playoff atmosphere, it brings a little bit out of the Devils. And I'd expect a slobber knocker tonight, and it's going to be like a one goal game.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I feel like I've also seen a little bit of a decrease in Vitek Vanacek. I don't know. He's given up a lot of goals lately. He just hasn't really looked the same. Meanwhile, you got guys like Yaroslav Halak, who's been performing really well. He just got his first shutout of the season, which is really nice. But I don't know. You look at some of these games. Vitek Vanacek has won one game in his last 4,
It's
and
been rough.
he's given up at least 2 goals a game in his last 5. In his last 5 starts. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, Shesterkin and Halak have been doing good, but I'm not trying to sound biased. And I feel like the Devils, that's one thing they really need to focus on is Vitek right now.
Yeah, well, in his defense, there is no defense. Okay,
No,
I think
exactly.
he is the games that I've seen. He has been let out to dry. That was that one game in overtime that the Devils gave up a goal. I think with like 0.3 seconds left. You know, it's just like they're letting these breakaways go back, and I think it's just the way the Devils play. They just get gassed. They just look like they're so tired because they skate full speed all the time.
Yeah.
But if they start hitting shots again, they're also very dangerous. You know, I've seen them also score 4 goals in 30 seconds. So they're explosive. It's just they're just young.
Some of the Devils players, in my opinion, I feel like they're relying on stars a little too much, if you know what I mean by that. Like, they're relying on guys like Hughes and
a lot of pressure on him.
Bra and Heischner and all these guys to just, carry them essentially when they need a little more than that. Because you keep in mind, this Devils team is still pretty young. Like, they're not going to be like they don't really have a Connor McDavid on their team. No. They don't have an Igor Shesterkin on their team. They don't have these guys that can basically play 3 periods and not really need any help from other teammates. They don't have that. Like, this is a very surprising team in my opinion. But I will give credit to the Devils because they have definitely surprised a lot of players. And regardless of how far they go in the playoffs, I think it's still an absolute win for their season this year.
Yeah, for sure.
But the biggest question I want to ask you guys. Every single the top 3 teams, the Rangers, the Devils, and the Hurricanes, have officially clinched the playoffs. We are yet to see anything from the Western Conference because that conference is boring. So my question to you guys is, which team do you think will win the Metropolitan Division?
I think the Rangers are going to win.
I agree with that. I think the Rangers will win because, I mean, if you look at the schedule that the Rangers have, they play every single team that they play right now is below them in the standings.
Well, I think the Rangers are going to win because we've been 9-1-1 in the past 11 games. We're rolling. I feel like people think we're in a slump, but I don't really think, we're doing really good. So this would be a really big win for us tonight. And if we can get tied up with the Devils at 98 points, it'll be just very good.
Okay, I really think the Rangers have the best shot at winning because their team all around is just stacked. They have the star players to easily get a deep playoff run. And the way their schedule is looking, they could easily win over 85% of these games. I think that it's just a no-doubter.
I mean, what do you think I'm going to say? I'm outnumbered at this table here, folks.
You could say Carolina.
I hate Carolina.
Or you could just come on our side.
No, listen. No, I'm not going to do that. I think here's the thing. It's like sometimes in horse races where the horse that's ahead, the second that they see someone behind them, they pick it up again. And I think that the little pressure that the Rangers are putting on the Devils are going to, get the Devils right, and they're gonna speed up because they're not going to want to get caught.
Mr. J, I'd like to ask you, if the Devils were to win the division, would you rather play the Penguins or the Islanders?
I think the Islanders, just because I think it would be just more fun for the New York area. I think it's just like, again, it's just there's more juice when the Devils play like the Rangers and when the Devils play the Islanders. So I think it would just be more fun. I think the Islanders are better than the Penguins, but I don't know. I wouldn't want to lose to a team like the Penguins who stink. I think it would be more fun to play the Islanders.
I feel like the Islanders also kind of like they have that one wild card spot wrapped up, because it's like you look at like the Penguins, you look at like the Panthers. None of those guys are probably going to pass the Panthers. I said this a while ago, but no, obviously nobody's going to pass those top 3 metropolitan teams. But I feel like the Islanders have that 1 seed in the wild card wrapped up, so it's really just a matter of figuring out who the Islanders are going to play in the playoffs at this point.
If I was the Devils and I was the 1 seed, I would honestly want to play the Islanders because Penguins, they've been in the playoffs for 16 years in a row, right? So they have a lot of playoff experience, 3 Stanley Cups. I would go for the Islanders.
That's going to do it for now. Thank you, MAHWAH. Have a wonderful spring break. We are out.
Peace.